Okay, so picture this. It's 11:47 p.m., and you're lying in bed, phone brightness turned all the way down. So it doesn't blind you, and you're doing math. Not fun math. The other kind. Rent minus paycheck minus car payment minus that Target run you didn't really need to make. And somewhere in that dark little spreadsheet in your head, a thought creeps in. Maybe you just need a side hustle. Maybe if you drove for a rideshare app on weekends, or sold stuff online, or picked up freelance work at 10 p.m. after a full day of work, maybe then the numbers would finally work out. Honestly, I used to think that too. A few years back, I was doing exactly that. Full-time job during the day, freelance writing at night, and dabbling in reselling stuff on the side because a video told me it was passive income. I was busy constantly, tired constantly, and somehow, weirdly, still broke, still counting down to payday, still that same little knot in my stomach every time a bill came due, and it took me embarrassingly long to figure out why. Because the side hustle wasn't the problem, and it was never going to be the solution either. There was a lie sitting quietly underneath the whole thing. And once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. Once you see it too, you're going to look at your own money situation a little differently. So let's get into it. The lie itself. Here's the lie, stated plainly. You're poor because you don't work hard enough. And the fix is simply do more work. Add another job. Add another income stream. Grind harder. Sleep less, hustle until you make it. It's everywhere. It's in the reels of guys standing next to rented sports cars. It's in the podcast ads. It's in the well-meaning advice from that one uncle who started with nothing. And look, it sounds motivating. It sounds empowering. Even like the answer to your money problems is entirely within your control. You just have to want it enough. But here's the thing, nobody says out loud, working more hours at the wrong kind of work doesn't fix a broken foundation. It just makes you a more exhausted version of broke. I had a friend, genuinely one of the hardest working people I know, who picked up food delivery gigs every single night after her 9 to 5 for almost a year. And you know what she had to show for it at the end? Some extra cash that got quietly swallowed by life. Groceries. A car repair. The usual. It never became anything. It just became fuel for staying exactly where she already was. Why does this matter to you? Because if you believe the lie, you'll keep reaching for the same tool over and over, wondering why it's not working, and quietly blaming yourself for it. The takeaway isn't never get a side hustle. It's this. Understand what a side hustle can and can't do for you before you pour your evenings into one. Income isn't the same as wealth. This one sounds obvious when I say it out loud, but almost nobody actually lives like they believe it. More money coming in does not automatically mean more money staying with you. There's this quiet little monster called lifestyle creep, and it grows exactly as fast as your income does. You get a raise, and suddenly the apartment feels a little small. You pick up a side hustle that nets you a few $100 extra a month, and somehow a few $100 a month in new subscriptions, and takeout appears right alongside it. Think of your finances like a bathtub with the drain half open. Doesn't matter how much water you pour in from the tap, if the drain's open, the water level barely moves. That's what a side hustle looks like without spending awareness. You're pouring in effort, sweat, actual hours of your one wildlife, and it's just draining right back out. I say this with love because I did it too. I remember getting my first big freelance check and immediately buying a nicer camera for content. Did I need it? No. Did it feel amazing? For about 4 days? Also, yes. That's the trap. So here's the actionable part. Before you add income, go look at the drain. Track where money actually leaves. For about 30 days, no judgment, just observation. You might find you don't need a second job. You need a smaller leak. You're trading time, not building anything. Here's the deeper issue. And honestly, this is the one that really cracked things open for me. Most side hustles, not all but most, are just you trading hours for dollars, the exact same deal you already have with your main job. Drive the car, get paid. Stop driving, stop getting paid. Write the article, get paid. Stop writing. Income stops the same second your fingers leave the keyboard. There's no leverage in that, and leverage honestly is the whole game. Think about it like this. A farmer who plants seeds is doing something completely different than a farmer who's out there manually hauling buckets of water to each individual plant every single day, forever. One of them builds something that eventually grows without them standing there. The other one is just permanently, exhaustingly hauling buckets. Most side hustle advice teaches you to haul buckets faster. Nobody's out there teaching you to plant seeds because plant seeds doesn't sell nearly as well as make $500 this weekend. And why does this matter? Because you can haul buckets for the next 20 years and still be one bad week away from panic. So the takeaway, ask this of any side hustle before you start it. Does this get easier or more automatic over time? Or does it demand the exact same amount of me forever? If it's the second one, it can still be useful short term. Just don't mistake it for the escape hatch. What actually builds wealth? So if it's not more hustling, what is it? Assets. I know. That word can sound cold, like something out of a finance textbook. But stick with me for a second. An asset is simply something that keeps paying you, whether or not you personally show up that day. Money sitting in an index fund. A skill so specific and valuable that people pay a premium for it. A small system or product you built once. That keeps quietly selling. Even relationships and reputation function a little like assets. Honestly, they compound. Here's a small example. Instead of picking up a fourth freelance client, I spent a few months building a simple template and selling it online. It made way less money at first, embarrassingly less. But 6 months later, it was still selling while I slept, while I was on vacation, while I was doing literally anything else. That gap between something that needs you every hour and something that doesn't, that's basically the entire difference between hustling and building. This isn't about quitting your job tomorrow or making some huge leap. It's smaller than that. It's redirecting even a little bit of your hustle energy towards something that compounds, instead of something that just repeats. The emotional trap nobody talks about. Can I be honest about something kind of uncomfortable? Part of why the side hustle lie is so sticky is that it feels good. It feels productive. Being exhausted from grinding gives you this weird badge of honor, like you're doing something virtuous, even when the math isn't actually moving. It's busy work dressed up as ambition, and quietly, it lets you avoid the scarier stuff, like actually sitting down with your spending, or admitting a career change might be overdue, or facing that you're a little scared to invest, because you don't fully understand it yet. Busy feels safer than honest. That's the whole trap right there. So here's the ask. Get honest with yourself, even just for one evening, not another hustle. 1 hour with your actual numbers, your actual goals, your actual fears about money. It's uncomfortable, sure, but it's the 1 hour that actually changes direction instead of just changing speed, bringing it back together. So, let's bring this back together. The side hustle itself was never really the enemy here. The lie was believing that adding more hours of work, by itself, was ever going to fix a leaky, leverageless foundation. Income without awareness leaks right back out. Effort without leverage just repeats itself forever. And busyness, as good as it feels in the moment, isn't the same thing as progress. If there's one thing I want you to actually walk away with, it's this. Before you add another job to your week, ask what you're really trying to build. Not just this month's rent, but the actual shape of your financial life 5 years from now. Sometimes the answer really is a smart, well-chosen side hustle, but more often, it's fixing the drain. Building one small thing that doesn't need you every single hour, and having the honest, slightly uncomfortable conversation with your own money that you've been putting off. You don't need to hustle harder tonight. You just need to build something that's still standing tomorrow, even after you've stopped carrying the bucket. That shift, small as it sounds, is genuinely how people stop being tired and broke and start being just tired and building something real. And honestly, that's a pretty good place to start.